This is Castle Sandro, a semi-hidden gem in the north of Sardinia, Italy. And it's so gold, and it's so new, and it's so bold. Look at the heroes. And our hotel is all the way down that way. We walked all the way up here. I'm not happy about that. After climbing our way to the top of the mountain, we were greeted with a memorial statue of people who passed away at the castle. Directly to the left was the castle itself, which was really not difficult to get to. The castle, alongside the town itself, was a museum. There were different sections of the museum plotted around the entire town, which was only 10 euros per person to see the entire museum across the town.
Cheese and stuff.
Really nice. You having fun?
Me?
Yeah. Love it. I love a bit of history, mate.
This is his paper.
Yeah, we've been in
Yeah.
No.
I'm mum.
Yeah. Mum.
These are my freeloaders.
First bit of the museum, which started in the castle, showed bread making equipment, farming equipment, and boats. Are you seeing this? In the gardens of the castle area was a whole room dedicated to paintings. A lot of the things on here said things like fin earth, which I'm considering means finish earth or end earth. Otherwise, it just means fine earth. I don't know. It was really nice to see paintings that were good paintings and not just a few lines on a white piece of paper. We then had the opportunity to go to the top of the castle, which had a guillotine at the top, showcasing how people were executed in this castle. So this here in front of me is actually what they would have used for executions. So the thing that we saw downstairs would have most likely been put in the middle, correct me if I'm wrong, and then the blade up here. It's very tall though, and one thing a lot of people don't know about me: fine with heights, don't care about heights. But as soon as you put me in front of something big, don't like it. Do not like it. As you can see, the castle was extremely high and you could see everywhere. It was crystal clear, the skies were beautiful, and the sea was glimmering. You could see everything. Look at this. We then finished in the castle part of the museum and decided to head out for lunch, which wasn't difficult as there were so many restaurants to go to for lunch, but the one difficult thing there was my mum does not eat fish, and a lot of them had fish as most of their food options. We are currently going to the restaurant, which has the best view in town because it has cocktails. Also, it has the best view in town. Probably a good reason why we're going there as well. Are you excited for food? Where are you? Are you excited for food? So the restaurant with a good view actually sold just fish, so we found a pizza restaurant instead. We are currently at Cosmo's pizza restaurant, Ristorante Pizzeria. I haven't even looked at the menu, but I have said if they see lasagna on the menu, I'm getting it. So I'm getting lasagna. I've tried ravioli. I've tried spaghetti, kind of. It was like a fish spaghetti. And now I'm gonna try lasagna. Unfortunately, the food here was not good. My sister got a seafood spaghetti and the fish did not taste right at all. My mum got chicken and they served her just 2 slices of unseasoned chicken, which were cold. And when she asked for them warmed up, they put it in the microwave, but came back with it still cold on the inside. And my lasagna was just a mushy, flavourless mess. It had no flavour at all, no seasoning, no nothing. Without further ado, we made our way to the second part of the museum, which was across from the castle. This part had more relics and a living space which was kept together. So we are currently in exhibition Holy Inquisition. I tried to get the name of this. We were in this holy exhibition thing. Room in there. This here appears to be like a little living area. The English translation of this place was a little bit difficult to understand. However, a lot of things in here were actually dated back to when Sardinia's castle was used. This is a weirdly shaped thing. I'm assuming food would be made here. What I thought was crazy is that you were able to touch these things. It said not to, but you physically could. Nothing was actually stopping you. There was no barrier, there was no security, there was nothing. You just walked in as long as you had paid, and everyone was so nice to you, which is completely different to what you would have gotten if this was in England or America or other parts, maybe a more touristy area, because people would touch these and they actually trusted people not to touch these things. Doesn't mean people didn't. There was a nicely put together living room, bedroom, everything was nicely put together. However, I do not know if these things were actually dated back to when the castle was in use, or if these things are new and based off of what was been used in the castle itself. I couldn't really tell what this area was, and there was a lot of different parts to it that were like, I'm not too sure if this fits together, but go on then, sure. Interesting view. So this is actually opposite the castle. I'll have a little map here explaining. Oh wow, guys, look at this room. This looks like maybe a study area. What files? And this is in the shape of like a temple kind of thing. And we've got some nice old chairs all centered around. What I find crazy is that they trust us not to touch and sit down on them. If this was in England or America, it would definitely be covered up. We've got another Bible here. So I continued my journey throughout the museum until I found something horrifying. Room with the witch on. As I'm not liking this at all. Who was gonna tell me that this museum had mannequins? If you guys have seen the first episode of the reboot of Doctor Who with Christopher Eccleston and those mannequins, I hated it. Despised it. So the room we were just in, the room of the witch hunt. Okay, let's skip my social anxiety here. Basically, this room was the room of the witch hunt. Even in Sardinia, there was witch hunts going on. In this room, it showed things that people would have been accused of witchcraft from. Those are herbs and more, and some texts, but those were in Italian, so I cannot tell you what they said. It also speaks about a government-led group of people called the Inquisition. These people would call out people for being witches if they did not follow the same religious beliefs as them.
Gonna lie, me too. When I went on her page and see her pictures, I said, "Oh, jump scare."
I'm not liking this. I'm really not liking this. Why are there people? Down the hall and down some stairs was the torture rooms. I'm unsure if the equipment here was actually real from the time that it was used, or if it's replicates from what would have been used, but this equipment was commonly seen in European countries as torture equipment for witches or people accused of witchcraft and sacrilegious people. Some of the equipment here was used to torture people for information, to kill people, and or to humiliate people. The third part of the museum was the church. In the church was many things that were from the time that it was created, whilst also being things that are replicates of the time it was created. Nothing in here was blocked off and you could touch everything, including the praying stalls. My sister was one of the people which decided to pray here. But our family isn't religious, however, she is somewhat religious. So out of respect, I am blocking her out. I'm sure you can understand. We are now heading to what I believe to be the crypt. Could possibly be something completely different, but I see a cross on the outside, and again, out of respect, I will not be commenting on this one, and it will most likely be a voiceover. This here was the crypt. One side had people who were buried nicely in very expensive coffins, the other side had a lot of people who were chucked into a hole. or put into the walls. Either way, I did not record inside as it requested not to take videos, and I understand for privacy reasons and out of respect to let the dead rest in peace.